Hey, what's up, moviegoers, and welcome to the second review for Wednesday Movie Reviews for the second season. Not sure if this movie is outdoor theaters yet, so hard to tell. So we just leave this as a could be cinema or could be genre. Sundays review. On, as promised, Iron Man 3, which is directed by Shane Black. Cast includes Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts, Don Cheadle as Colonel James Rhodes, aka the Iron Patriot, Guy Pearce as Aldrich Killian, Rebecca Hall as Maya Henson, Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan, Ben Kingsley as Trevor Slattery, James Badge Dale as Savin, Paul Bettany as the voice of Jarvis, Sadler as President Ellis, and Miguel Ferrer as Vice President Rodriguez. Okay, I'm going to try to do this with being able to show the story enough, but not giving away as many major spoilers. But it's going to be pretty hard as it's a sequential type of movie. There are things leading to other things, and it being told in details would give major spoilers that might spoil the whole movie. So I'll try to avoid that, but be warned, there is still going to be a few spoilers at the most. Okay, so the movie starts out with a flashback about how the Mandarin was created. This guy, Killian, tries to get Tony and his assistant at that time, Maya, to join him for AIM, Advanced Ideas Mechanics, to work for him, but he is turned down. Meanwhile, during the same flashback, they are working on a prototype remedy that is supposed to allow recovery for crippling injuries, which is in experimental phase, extremis. But though its upside is very good, what it's supposed to do is good, its upside, which is to gain fire-like powers, is even better. Its downside is horrific to think of, and would keep it off the market. Thus, that leads also to the creation of the Mandarin, who actually, major spoiler alert, turns out to be Killian, the guy that you see in the trailer. That looks like he could be from an Asian country or or whatever country, is just a face for the Mandarin, who actually uses anonymity as one of his major reliances to be able to stay in business as a CEO while do all the stuff. Okay, spoiler, this first major spoiler alert over. present day, Tony Stark makes all these mocks for his armament suits due to being restless, due to having nightmares about the missile part of the attack on New York seen in the Avengers. I'm not going to go into any further details about that in particular, for those who have yet to see the Avengers. You're welcome. Anyhow, the majority of the movie is main hero does stuff that results in a chain of other things happening, while main villain does stuff that also results in a chain of other things happening. For instance, Tony Stark gets suspicious about the Mandarin's crime scenes of the people who exploded to extremists. So he has Happy Hogan investigate, which leads him in one area, which leads him to be put in a hospital. He soon starts to issuing a challenge to the Mandarin, which leads to house getting destroyed, which leads to Stark being in Tennessee, stranded. How do all these dots connect? Well, vaguely, I just told you how they connect, but I'm not going way too details, like how Happy Hogan landed in the hospital. It's quite obvious how Stark's home is destroyed even if you just seen the trailer. No, it's due to the Mandarin sending a helicopter to attack. And why Tennessee? That's a detail I'm not going to go into. But as far as the Mandarin's actions, how about this very interesting example? Iron Patriot gets a tip about the Mandarin's whereabouts. The Mandarin's threatened man uses that to steal the Iron Patriot suit, which is used for a tag on the president. Where, when, how, and etc. I'm going to keep link for y'all to find out when watching the movie, if you choose to see this movie. And eventually lands with the end battle between Tony Stark and the Mandarin. Throughout events happening all throughout the movie. Now, granted, pretty vague, but at least it doesn't spoil the whole movie for y'all. Now, I've got to say, this movie I did find rather good. Except for, well, as shown in the trailer, House Party Protocol, well, that summons all of the suits to help Tony Stark fight. Which is pretty cool watching all these suits in action, but what happens at the end of the fight, I did not take a liking to. In the movie, they call it Clean Slate Protocol. What it does is destroys all the suits. So Tony Stark makes use of Clean Slate Protocol. And also gets surgery to remove the shrapnel that got lodged to his heart. If you don't know what I'm talking about, see the beginning of the first Iron Man movie. And gets the chest piece that he's wearing removed as well. Throws those into the ocean. And with the arc reactor destroyed from the events of the ending of the first film, the huge arc reactor, the things that happen at the end of Iron Man 3 that I just explained about, it's very hard to see Iron Man coming back unless there is a big time jump in between the events of whatever film that may have the return of Iron Man and Iron Man 3, in which there's going to probably need a flashback to explain that. So unless they want to do that type of thing, it's hard to see about Iron Man returning back for any more movies in the series. Whether it be just Iron Man films or upcoming Avengers films like Age of Ultron. And this one thing is the only thing that I didn't really like. True, you see a lot of these things like use of anonymity between a behind-the-scenes villain, the clichéness of why he wanted to go after Tony Stark, in particular, etc. But the plot of the film, altogether justifies about it and actually makes it work. True, with a deja vu sense to some parts, but used in other instances. But the main thing that has an effect on my rating of this movie is about the Clean Slate Protocol and the happenings to the chess piece and etc. That was like a bad move to do if they wanted to have the character return for future films. Unless they want to like make a huge time gap and use a thing at the beginning of another film to show how he's able to make a comeback. And thus, on a scale of 1 star being poor and 5 stars being excellent, I'm going to have to give this movie a 4.5 stars. That's it for this weekend, and I don't really know about anything that might have an effect on next weekend. But until then, have a good rest of the day, and we'll catch you later, moviegoers. Bye.